Rootless children, identity collapse in a post-family world. When a child is born into a home where the mother and father are missing, either physically, emotionally, or spiritually, what exactly are they being raised in? Is it still a family? Or is it simply a housing unit with people occupying space together? In a world where lineage has been erased, gender has been flattened, and tradition has been pathologized, what happens to the identity of the child? That's the question we confront today. Because children are no longer growing up confused by accident. They are growing up confused by design. We are witnessing the rise of the rootless generation, a wave of children who have never experienced secure bonding, stable roles, or spiritually aligned modeling. They aren't just detached from culture or tradition, they're detached from themselves. In prior generations, even the most modest families passed down identity in simple, powerful ways. A child was told who they were, not just by name, but by presence, by the father's example, by the mother's touch, by rituals and storytelling, by shared meals, community prayer, family lore, and cultural memory. That child grew up seeing themselves as part of something, a lineage, a legacy, a story. And that story helped shape their purpose. It gave them roots. It gave them a mirror to grow from. But in today's post-family world, those mirrors have been shattered. The child wakes up to screens, not parents. Their role models are influencers. Their beliefs are scripted through algorithms. Their attention is harvested. Their spiritual formation is outsourced to institutions. There is no father affirming identity, no mother attuning emotionally, no elder grounding them in ancestral or cultural wisdom. Just an endless stream of opinions, distractions, and simulated connection. The result is identity collapse. Not in the political sense, not in the sexual sense, but in the core, psychological and spiritual sense of not knowing who you are and having no stable place to return to. This disorientation doesn't just show up in anxiety or behavioral issues. It shows up in more complex ways, like dissociation, body confusion, existential fatigue, and the inability to form lasting bonds. It's the deep, almost invisible trauma of having no map, no modeling, no rooted gender, no rooted history, no grounded spiritual framework. And so the child floats, hyper-attached to peer culture, desperate for external validation, riddled with internal contradictions, and often medicated into compliance. Their body may be alive, but their spiritual identity is unfixed, adrift in a world that offers them unlimited labels, but no foundational anchor. Children raised without masculine and feminine polarity don't just lose stability, they lose self-definition. Masculine energy doesn't just protect, it imprints boundaries, clarity, and law. Feminine energy doesn't just nurture, it codes belonging, emotion, and intuition. These two energies together help a child form internal order. When both are present and spiritually aligned, they generate polarity within the psyche. That polarity helps children develop identity, not as a costume or performance, but as an embodied soul state that knows its place in the larger fabric of life. But today's children aren't receiving that. They're being given choices instead of truth, confusion instead of clarity, and affirmation without reflection. They are told, you can be anything, before they are shown who they are. They are given identities to try on like outfits, but never given roots to grow from. And so the very process of self-discovery becomes distorted. It becomes a series of external experiments, rather than an internal awakening. And without strong roots, children become easy to uproot, repackage, and reprogram. This is not freedom, it's fragmentation. And fragmented children grow into fragmented adults, people who don't know where they belong, what their purpose is, or what they're building toward. They may be intelligent, expressive, and functional. But beneath the performance is a hollow place where identity should have been nurtured through loving guidance. They may appear confident, but often they are aching for structure, longing for fatherhood, starving for maternal intimacy. And because that ache has no name, they search for it in gender fluidity, social activism, therapy culture, or digital tribes. And still, they don't feel whole. Because the wound wasn't just cultural, it was cosmic. It was a severance from their divine blueprint. Without family, children grow up raised by systems, not souls. And systems don't love. They manage, they instruct, they label, but they don't reflect, hold, initiate, or bless. Only families do that, when they are intact, spiritually oriented, and energetically aligned. That's why the family had to fall, because systems can't compete with lineage. They can't override identity passed through generations. They can't reshape children raised in love and rooted in legacy. They can only program children who are spiritually floating and emotionally hungry. We're not seeing an identity revolution. We're seeing a slow disintegration of the inner self. And it began when the family stopped being a source of spiritual guidance and became just a logistical arrangement. When the parent became a monitor, not a mirror. When the home became a subscription to services rather than a sacred space. When society stopped blessing children and started offering them identities as a way to bypass actual development. A child who has never experienced secure masculine energy cannot know what healthy strength looks like. A child who has never received emotionally attuned feminine nurture cannot regulate their heart. A child who grows up in a neutral, depolarized, despiritualized environment will not know who they are. And worse, they may not even know they're missing something. That is the tragedy. When the loss becomes so normalized, it doesn't feel like a loss anymore. It feels like just how things are. But the soul remembers. Deep down, the child carries a blueprint. The memory of what it means to be held in polarity. The longing for roles that made sense. For family meals with meaning. For discipline that was protection, not punishment. For a father who stood tall and a mother who spoke spirit. These aren't fantasies. They're soul codes. And until we reawaken them, we will keep producing rootless children who become spiritually amputated adults, vulnerable to any ideology, movement, identity, or technology that offers them the illusion of belonging. This is the quiet crisis. Not that children are rebelling, but that they have nothing left to rebel against, because the structure that once shaped them is gone. The father is absent, the mother is overwhelmed, the culture is digital, and the spiritual map has been deleted. We have replaced foundation with flexibility, stability with fluidity, and clarity with chaos, all in the name of freedom. But what we got was fragmentation. And now we are watching the cost play out in real time. Depression, self-harm, emotional instability, identity confusion, spiritual apathy. These aren't isolated problems. They are the inevitable symptoms of raising children without a family tree, without roots, without reflection, without sacred design. This is dissolving the family structure. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing. And no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans. The merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SoS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.